Good morning, Connecticut. Dennis O'Brien running the Retirement Life and Investing Show. We have an exciting show this week. My contact information is 860-464-9490 if you'd like to call in with a question. We are going to be talking with Karen Etchells. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Hey, Dennis.
Karen's the president and owner of Innovast Digital Marketing. How did you get the name Innovast?
Oh, that's a funny story.
Yeah.
I used to work for a company with that name, and they built websites and did software development.
Yeah.
However, they went out of business, and the domain name was available, so I kind of grabbed it up.
It?
I held on to it for a long time and
Did it help you with the old customers? It didn't jinx you?
Or? To a little bit, but I always liked the name. It's innovative and vast. That's wide.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you figured, what the heck?
It's a cool name.
Yeah. So Karen, I recently hired Karen. Karen's part of my BNI group, BNI Thames. We meet Thursday morning, 7:15 at Con College. And just talking about that for a sec, has that helped your business belonging to BNI?
Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, as far as making local connections, it's been amazing.
It's like having 20 people on your sales force.
Just the camaraderie and the support of other local business people, and you get the benefit of their personal networks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, Karen, your business is called Innovast Digital Marketing, and like I said, Karen's helping me with my social media campaigning. I finally have joined the 21st century.
One step at a time, Dennis.
O'Brien retired. Yeah, she's holding my hand, going baby steps.
It'll be all right.
We'll be all right. But we're going through the approval process right now. And Karen, basically, your business is helping people with web design and digital marketing, right?
That's right, yeah.
So let's talk about how you got into it, what you do, and the whole thing. What's your story here?
Sure. I mean, everybody has their natural strengths, and I think the creative avenue was always a strong one for me.
Yeah.
So, even when I was in elementary school, if somebody asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, it was a writer. Yeah. So, life changes and everything. I was in communications in high school, and I went to the University of Rhode Island, and I majored in journalism. However, I was very shy as a kid, and I was afraid to interview people. So when it came to the journalism class and I had to approach people to interview them or get information for stories, I would just freeze. Yeah. It was just too much and overwhelming for me. So I just kind of pulled back, and I thought, I'm never going to make any money at journalism anyway, I ended up getting married at 20. I had 4 children 2 years apart, and that became the focus of my life for 10 years. And I worked for the Postal Service. I was a letter carrier for 10 years. And it got to the point where I just needed a challenge. It was just every day. I knew every crack in the sidewalk. I knew everybody's subscriptions. I knew every address and every name at every address. Right. And I needed more of a personal challenge and a purpose. Right. And one day I was delivering mail, and I saw the Rhode Island School of Design continuing ed catalog. And this was in the mid-90s. And that was really kind of lit a fire inside of me. And I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to explore this. I need to learn computers. So I took basic computer class and then went into that program. It was computer graphics then. Yep. It wasn't yet web design. Websites were very, very new. And I started to learn about, using Photoshop and Illustrator and all of those tools. Right. And the instructor I had for the very first web design class that they offered at Rhode Island School of Design he worked during the day at the Providence Journal, and he was a web designer there. And he was leaving that position to go work with an ad agency. Right. So, it all came to it was almost like some things are meant to be, because when he announced that he was leaving that position, I applied for it.
Really?
And I had done a few nonprofits as kind of like getting my toes wet and trying a way of giving and building a portfolio. So I was surprised as heck, that I got hired by the Providence Journal to be a web designer.
Really?
So,
what year was this?
1997.
Wow, that's early on.
Yeah. And not a lot of companies had websites, and even the Journal would do websites for like Bank Rhode Island, the Providence Bruins. I worked on these projects, which was like it was amazing to me to be able
Cutting
to
edge, yeah.
be doing websites for companies like that.
Yeah, that's just amazing. 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember watching TV in the mid late '90s, and all of a sudden at the bottom of the ad you see www.campbells.com.
Yeah.
What's
that?
You know, what's that?
Yeah.
That's the World Wide Web, my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how we learned about it.
Yep.
So, yeah, I usually ask someone who comes on to give me some questions they want me to ask. What's going on here? There's people out there listening right now. They might be older and don't have a clue what we're talking about and everything else. So why is this so important out there? Let's talk to the older audience maybe a little
Sure.
bit too. Why is this important? What are the grandkids talking about? Are the kids talking about? Why is this the wave of the future? Why does O'Brien Retirement have to be on Facebook business page and LinkedIn business and Twitter? Why?
Well, not only because everybody's using the computer nowadays, and the yellow pages is a thing of the past. I mean, the older folks, I'm sure, always had the yellow pages delivered, and that was their resource if they needed any products or
And the
services.
telephone company knew that and charged an arm and a leg for an ad.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
When I first went into business, I went, you want how much for that?
So now it's a smartphone. Everybody has a phone in their pocket, and it's a little computer. And if you're out and about, and for instance, you need a place to grab a sandwich, then they pull out their smartphone.
There's the Village Bakehouse in Groton.
That's right.
There you go.
That's my social media client. So.
Yeah, I know, I helped you get it.
That's right.
But, hey, Jeff, if you're listening, I'm giving you a little shout out, all right?
It's a fantastic
I don't want a
little
free
shop.
sandwich, but I really don't. Jeff, I don't want a free sandwich. Just kidding. But the world's crazy now because the kids are on it all the time. All business is being done on it. Facebook has 2 billion users around the world. That's just incredible.
Yeah.
So if you want to do business and you have a Facebook page, you have to have a Facebook business page.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't want to overlook that. I even have some B2B companies that have said to me, I don't need to be on Facebook. I'm not
Oh,
reaching
yeah?
consumers directly. But people are on Facebook.
Yeah.
And people might not be on Facebook looking for your product or service, but you want to be there because they're there to hang out with their family and friends or to catch up on the latest family photos.
Right.
But they're people, and they may have an interest business-wise and may not know they need your product or service until they come upon you. So you do want to have a presence there.
I know. I find all these neat little ads for products I never heard of on Facebook. I go, that's really cool.
Right.
I would have never heard of that.
Right.
But boy, when they have your attention, if they catch you in that initial video or little headline,
Sure.
they got you, don't they?
And they know what you're looking at. So there's something called retargeting,
Yep.
where if you happen to pull up a product on your computer, that they can retarget that ad to you.
Yeah.
And it will kind of follow you around when you're doing other things on Facebook.
Yeah. If you want to get with a website or have a digital marketing strategy, you can reach Karen at 860-634-3836. And Karen, we'll be back with you in a few minutes. Denis O'Brien, the Retirement Life and Investing Show. My website's www.o'brienretire.com. And if you don't have hers, come to me and I'll give it to you. See you in a few. Wait,